儿郎们，全力看马腿！
After the fall of the northern Song dynasty due to the Jingkang incident in 1127, the descendants of the Song were pushed south of the Yangtze River. The Jin dynasty attempted to set up a puppet regime by enthroning Zhang Bangcheng as the emperor of the Chu state. While most ministers of the Song court remained silent or complied, Qin Hui, serving as the Yuxi Zhongcheng, submitted a strongly worded memorial in fierce opposition. He resisted Jin's demands by insisting on the preservation of the Zhao royal family. However, he was eventually arrested by Jin forces and dragged away to the north. Because Qin Hui later executed Yue Fei and became the symbol of the pro-peace faction, this incident was often utilized to reinforce the narrative that Qin Hui was initially a loyal minister advocating for war before he turned traitor. The Jin army established Dachu a puppet state, with the Song official Zhang Bengchang as Emperor Chu, and subsequently withdrew their troops. As soon as the Jin forces pulled back, the Song military and court officials strongly revolted against Zhang Bangchang, urging him to renounce the throne. Accepting their demands, Zhang Bangchang abdicated voluntarily just 32 days after ascending the throne. In May 1127, Zhao Go, the ninth son of Emperor Huizong, ascended the throne as Emperor Gaozong of Song. He moved south to rebuild the dynasty, but the initial situation was extremely unstable. Although he designated Linnan as the temporary capital in 1138, a massive Jin invasion in 1129 forced him to abandon Linnan and flee as far as Mingzhou. Ultimately, he boarded a ship and fled to the sea, wandering along the coast of Zhejiang for 3 to 4 months. It was an unprecedented state of affairs where an emperor maintained his dynasty from aboard a ship on the open sea. This experience of fleeing by sea left deep trauma on Gaozong, becoming a major catalyst for strengthening his stability-first political line. Linnan thus became a capital established with its back to the sea. In 1130, a massive Jin army of 100,000 led by Wanyan Zongbi launched another southern invasion. After capturing Linnan, they pursued Emperor Gaozong. However, failing to capture Gaozong because he had escaped to the sea, the Jin forces were in the middle of marching back north. At this juncture, the famous southern Song general Han Shizhong and his wife Liang Hongyu stepped forward. Intercepted by Han Shizhong's Song naval forces in the Zhengzhang area, the Jin army was driven into Huangtiandang. Huangtiandang featured terrain akin to an enclosed harbor along the Yangtze, with only one entrance and no exit, effectively trapping the Jin army inside. In this battle at Huangtiandang, around 8,000 Song naval troops led by Han Shizhong and his wife besieged the Jin army for 48 days, engaging in fierce combat. The image of Liang Hongyu beating war drums to inspire her soldiers became legendary to future generations. After 48 days of encirclement and stalemate, the Jin army managed to escape north by either digging a canal to break out or through the arrival of relief forces. This victory gave the Southern Song hope that the land south of the Yangtze River could be defended. However, they still lacked the strength to fully reclaim the north. The Jin cavalry remained a formidable threat, yet a massive wall rose before them. Leading an elite force known as the Yue family army, Yue Fei stood on the northern front. Even the official history of Jin acknowledged their strength with a record tinged with dread. It is easier to shake a mountain than to shake the Yue family army. Yue Fei's army was famous for its strict discipline and high morale. Starting in 1134, he launched multiple northern expeditions, recovering territories such as Xiangyang and Dengzhou. At the Battle of Yanqing in 1140, he achieved a crushing victory over the Jin's elite heavy cavalry, the Tifutu. The Jin dynasty's strongest heavy cavalry, the Tifutu, were terrifying units with both riders and horses encased in iron armor. They utilized the Guazima tactic, chaining 3 horses together to launch powerful flank attacks. However, Yue Fei had already seen through their weakness. Infantry from the Yue family army targeted the legs of the Tiafutu horses using long blades and axes. Once a single horse collapsed, the entire chain cavalry unit crumbled along with it. The Tiafutu, the iron tower deemed invincible, was shattered into pieces before Yue Fei. By scoring a monumental victory even against these Tiafutu, Yue Fei's army demonstrated the hope of reclaiming the Central Plains. Yue Fei rallied his soldiers with a battle cry, "Give us back our rivers and mountains." This cry resonated deeply in the hearts of the military and civilians of the Southern Song, becoming the symbol of reclaiming their lost northern homeland. However, opinions within the imperial court were sharply divided. While the pro-war faction led by Yue Fei advocated for crossing the Yellow River and taking back the north, The pro-peace faction centered around Prime Minister Qin Huaiqiu's peace with the Jin. Emperor Gaozong also prioritized stability above all else. War ruins the nation, and as a general's power grows, it threatens imperial authority. Haunted by the trauma of seeing two former emperors, his father and brother, taken prisoner, he feared that a prolonged war would jeopardize his own position. In July 1140, as Yue Fei's army advanced to Huangtiandang, gold-lettered plaques ordering an immediate withdrawal arrived continuously from the court. Later records state that 12 golden plaques arrived in a single day, though this appears to be a dramatic exaggeration popularized in literary fiction. With a deep sigh, Yue Fei shed tears, lamenting, 10 years of effort destroyed in a single morning, and had no choice but to retreat. In that moment, the dream of the northern expedition collapsed before the political decisions of the court. Yue Fei sheathed his sword with tears in his eyes, but his gaze remained fixed on the northern horizon. Although the advance was halted due to the rise of the pro-peace faction, the defense line along the Yangtze River was firmly secured. Yue Fei's northern expeditions lit the flame of hope for reclaiming the Central Plains, but the court's political choices pushed that hope back into the dark. And now betrayal and tragedy were closing in on a single hero.